Never seen such a total badass. Even with a gun pointed at his head by the enemy, he calmly pressed his watch to start the timer.
That's what you have to decide your fate. 9 seconds.
The gang leader struggled and kept crawling, while Uncle Dan unhurriedly picked up the shotgun, transforming into a proctologist to help him remove his hemorrhoids. Then with a playful gaze, he watched him crawl forward, even constantly tapping the ground to urge him on. He wanted these arrogant scumbags to taste despair. With a shot, he sent him to hell. Then he took the car keys from his body, grabbed his backpack, and left. In the car sat the gang leader's grandson. Seeing the boy was young, Uncle Dan told him to stay in the car, then he turned to leave. Yet the boy shot him in the back. Uncle Dan was hit, his face full of disbelief. Perhaps now he realized that evil knows no age. The gunshot to his back damaged his internal organs. He struggled to stay conscious, managing to drive onto a ferry to cross the river. But after reaching the shore, he collapsed on the road. Luckily, he was found by Patrol Officer Gio. By then, he was in critical condition, with no time to reach a hospital. Gio took him to the nearest town doctor's house. Thanks to Dr. Enzo's efforts, Uncle Dan narrowly survived. He soon regained consciousness.
Ha salvato un uomo buono o uno cattivo?
I don't know.
After 2 days of rest, Uncle Dan's injuries gradually improved. He also noticed that during his time there, no one had touched his backpack. Soon he was able to walk with a crutch. It's impossible for a normal person to do so. Dr. Enzo grew more intrigued by this mysterious man. It was a peaceful town, with simple folk and pleasant weather, and everyone was very welcoming. Uncle Dan even considered finding a job there to retire. But where there is light, there is also darkness. One day, while out for a walk, Uncle Dan noticed something unusual. Bikers was collecting protection money from shops. Their leader was threatening the fish shop owner. Uncle Dan could clearly hear the screams inside. With so many people around, he had to restrain himself. As the bikers prepared to leave, Uncle Dan slowly turned around, memorizing their arrogant faces. Then the shop owner emerged, his face covered in bruises, but he still politely nodded at Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan nodded back, yet his eyes fixed on these cocky thugs, silently adding them to his death list. The man dared to act so brazenly because his brother Vincent was the local mafia boss. Now they planned to take over the entire town, building resorts and casinos. Just because someone disagreed with their acquisition plan, they ordered their men to hang his disabled father on the spot. Thus, the longtime residents became obstacles. The threatened fish shop owner was one of them. That night, while examining Uncle Dan's wounds, the doctor found he had almost fully recovered. Curious, Uncle Dan asked the doctor, he was shot at that time. Why didn't he call the police? Wasn't he worried he might be a bad guy? Yet the doctor said,
Remember what I asked you?
Yeah. Am I a good man or a bad man? You asked me.
And you said you didn't. Only good men do that say that.